Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews, and look at that face staring you right in the eye. That is the creepiest, oddest glare from Owen that you'll probably ever see. Kind of giving you that look like, did you just fart? But regardless, you'll see why we are so close, and that's because this box is huge, because the box holds a huge figure, and this is the Super Colossal Blue, and it is absolutely gigantic. As was the Super Colossal T-Rex, you again can see that the Super Colossal Blue follows the same trend when it comes to being a gigantically large Jurassic World figure. So we've got the Rex and the Triceratops having a lover's quarrel, with Owen kind of more concerned with what we're doing. You can see Super Colossal Velociraptor Blue right there, and then of course Blue herself right here. And then you've got an image over here that shows some kid just angrily screaming while he plays with the Blue figure itself. If we take a look at the back, you've got a shot of Blue here kind of eating some dinosaurs. That same kid, who actually maybe he's the one that farted, because now that I'm looking at him, he has that same appearance of his face that he's currently letting one rip, so that's why Owen is so confused. All this time we figured that out. And then you've got a shot of some of the minifigures down here that the Super Colossal figures do in fact eat. And then you've got gigantic Blue chasing some around right here. So we actually had to make our review station a little bit bigger today, just because this figure is so insanely massive it wouldn't fit otherwise. But let's get this out of the box and take a look at it. So we always know that these Super Colossal figures are going to be big, but honestly you never really know just how big they are until you get one and you get it out of the box and you take a look at it, because it is just unbelievably huge. This Velociraptor Blue is just massive, as was the Super Colossal T-Rex, but after a while, you kind of tend to forget, if you don't look at it all the time, just how big these Super Colossal figures truly are. I think I'm actually going to end up having to take this outside just to get some pictures of it, just for the review alone, because it is so huge. I couldn't even possibly get it all in frame here inside, so we're just going to take a closer look at it, I think, and then we'll just take some very nice pictures of it outside to get you a good idea of what it looks like all together. So as far as the skull shape, I think they hit the nail straight on the head with this very beautiful Super Colossal Blue. I think the head shape of this is exactly what you see on Blue in the film, and that is one thing that is extremely cool in comparison to most of the Mattel Velociraptors, is they kind of just recycle raptor sculpts that may be partial to a different raptor from a different film. Sometimes you'll get a JP3 style raptor as far as the sculpt goes, but it kind of has a blue paint scheme. Well, that's not what you see here. You see just Blue. This is 100% what you see with Blue, even to the point of including those osteoderms that you kind of see run all over the neck area of Blue. That's something that I think you only really see on this Velociraptor. So it is really nice to see this sculpt completely brand new and exactly to what you do see on the actual Velociraptor in the film. As far as the detailing, the scale work all over the head is just gorgeous. It honestly is. It really looks beautiful. A lot of people were actually a little angry at this being made. They did not want a Super Colossal Blue. They wanted something else like a Super Colossal Indominus or Spinosaurus or something like that. And although I would absolutely love to have any of those, I think that a Super Colossal Blue is also really awesome, and I am extremely happy to have this. You see the sculpt work of the nostrils is really nicely done, and the eyes are incredible. Look at how beautiful those eyes are. Again, they're of course given a very nice gloss like you usually see on Mattel figures, but man, that eye is just incredibly nicely done. I believe they have a decal over it, really making the eye look just like it does in the film, and it just looks so beautiful in person. Of course, you have the articulated jaw, and the inside of the mouth is that very nice realistic kind of a pinkish color that does sport that beautiful gloss coat for the extra bit of realism. The teeth also look pretty good. You can see the inside of the mouth there. The teeth are definitely painted quite nicely. There's no real sloppiness or anything to them. The tongue actually has a very beautiful textured appearance, so there is some nicely done sculpt work in the tongue as well. And again, everything inside the mouth has that very beautiful gloss coat, helping to give it a very realistic appearance, as do the teeth on the top here. They all look really nice. There's no sloppiness anywhere to the application of the paint. And then inside this dark hole would be the area where it would swallow the other dinosaur figures. As you move down the neck, you can see that the Sculpt work as far as the wrinkling of the skin looks really nice. Velociraptor Blue here has the head kind of facing straight forward, so there's not going to be too much as far as difference in sculpt on this side as opposed to the other side. I think that it's probably going to be very neutral and kind of have that same style of wrinkling on both sides. The blue stripe is really nicely applied, looks very natural, and I think they've done a great job replicating the overall design of the stripe on the dinosaur. As you move down, you can see some wrinkling here in the shoulder area. Some very nice sculpt work on the arms, and the hands look really cool as well. If we turn the Velociraptor over, we might be able to get a better shot of it because, again, this thing is just so huge. As you can see, there is actually articulation in the wrists to turn the hands, which is very cool as well. The nails are painted really nicely and are also given that very beautiful gloss coat to help make them shine like real nails would. The arms in general look really good as well, very nicely again replicating the arm length and the arm sculpt of the dinosaur in the film. If you come up into the stomach, you can see that it does have this nice lighter coloration that you do in fact see on Blue in the films, or at least the actual Velociraptor in the films has a very similar color, kind of maybe like a khaki, but it's pretty close. Beautiful skin texture all over. As far as the sculpt work in the stomach region goes, you can see some very nice scaling here and there. If we come down into the legs, you can see the legs do sport some beautiful muscle tone, and again, that skin texture looks really nice here as well. There's quite a bit of creases in the skin and everything that you can see here and there. Some beautiful wrinkling here in the joint of the leg, along with a very nicely sculpted kneecap. The feet are also really beautifully sculpted, and you can see the sickle claw and everything. Looks really nice. The nails are again painted perfectly. Beautiful gloss coat included as well on the feet. Unfortunately, it's a little hard to get to it again because this is so big. You can see that there is no paint on the dew claw. I don't know why that never gets any love, but it just doesn't. And then even though it's a little bit dark, you can see the other foot here, the closer foot, also looks really good. You'll probably see a much nicer shot of this when I actually get it outside to take some pictures. You can see some nice wrinkling up here behind the thigh, and we run out the length of the tail, which is extremely long and has a very beautiful curve there at the end. Incredibly nice skin texture that runs out the entire length of the tail as well. Very nice scale work and everything. And the blue stripe ends right about here. Has a little bit of length yet to go, but it does end right here, although I think it still looks really good. If we look at the opposing side, again, it looks pretty much just as nice as the other side did. You can see the blue stripe does in fact end in the correct spot, and the detailing all around the eye is really nicely present on this side since we don't have the blue kind of obstructing it. We have this grayish color, which helps you to really take note of just how nice the detailing and skin texture and everything around the eye really is. Beautifully painted eye on this side as well. It just looks honestly incredible in person. We have that same similar style of sculpt as far as the wrinkling of the skin in the neck. As you do run down the length of the neck to the shoulder, you can see some more of that wrinkling going on here in the shoulder, and the beautifully sculpted arms. Once again, with these very nicely sculpted hands. I would honestly love to buy just a whole bunch of these and repaint each and every one to look like all the different Velociraptors from each of the films. I think that would just be so cool to have a house full of Jurassic Park Velociraptors. You can see that the sculpt work again on the thigh on this side is also really nice. The scale work is just beautiful everywhere. Really looks nice. And you can again see some wrinkling in the joint of this leg as well. Beautiful calf muscle right there. Really nicely portrayed. And again, we get down into the feet, which look very nice also on this side. And then you come up here into the tail. You can see that the underside of the tail also sports some beautiful sculpt, as does the upper side of the dinosaur. Again, the blue stripe ends right about there, but the tail does continue out to a nice curve. The upper side, as far as the sculpt work goes, also looks really good. So this Velociraptor Blue, overall, as far as the sculpt goes, is magnificent. As far as a size goes, and it's again really tough to really show you this, but trust me when I tell you it's about 38 inches or about 97 centimeters in length. That is ridiculously huge. And as far as a height goes, you're going to see this come in at about 16 and a half inches, maybe 16 and 3/4, and about 42 centimeters or 42 and a half centimeters as far as the head height goes. As far as a tail goes, you're going to see that at about 17 inches or about 43 centimeters. Maybe 43 and a half. And for a size comparison, here is Mr. Papo T-Rex next to just the foot of Velociraptor Blue. So if we try to pan out a little bit here, you can see that Velociraptor Blue is gigantic, and our buddy the Papo T-Rex has probably never felt so small in his life. This Velociraptor Blue is just seriously huge beyond belief, and you can really see that here next to the Papo-Rex. As far as articulation goes, you can see that the jaw, like I said, is articulated, but you have articulation in both the lower and upper jaw. They do kind of open and close sort of together. You also have articulation in the shoulder, and then like I said, you have articulation in the wrist, so you can turn the Velociraptor's hands kind of in whatever position you would like them to be in. You also, of course, have the articulation of the hip and the articulation of the ankle, like you usually do have on all Jurassic World figures. And then you do have some articulation in the tail as well, where you have to initially connect the tail. You actually have to put the tail and the leg on. I believe it was this leg. So it comes without those, and you do have to connect them, snap them on, but you can see right here at this joint, there is articulation in the tail. It's just kind of, I don't really have room here to display that movement for you, but you can trust me, it does in fact articulate. So this Mattel Velociraptor Blue, the Super Colossal version, is honestly beautiful. I really do love it. I think the sculpt in general is really well done and matches up exactly to what you do see on the film version of Blue. I think overall the entire dinosaur is beautifully sculpted, especially when it comes to the very small fine detailing goes. The skin texture and scale work is great everywhere I look, along with showing kind of the movement when it comes to creases and the joints and everything. It really does have a very beautiful sculpt. I think the inclusion of that incredibly nice painted eye helps the figure so much as far as the overall beauty goes, because I think it really just takes it to another level when you simply change one small thing like the way the eye is applied, giving it so much more detail and beautiful color. It just makes the figure just look so much better, and I love the fact that Mattel did that. I think they pretty much nailed it as far as the paint application goes. When it comes to a mass-produced figure like this, you're not going to get an overly complicated paint job, but what they did include is really well done, and I think they did a good job as far as matching the color up correctly to what you do see on the film version of Blue. I think the gray that they've consistently used on all of these Mattel Blues perfectly matches up to the gray that you do see on the dinosaur in the film. They also hit the nail straight on the head when it comes to the placement of the blue stripe, as far as ending it correctly on one side and then ending it kind of abruptly before the eye on the other side like you do see on the actual film version of the dinosaur, and also including kind of that lighter coloration on the underside of the dinosaur is something you do see trademarked to Blue in the film. So I think really this Velociraptor Blue is perfect. It really is. As far as a huge, gigantic blue mass-produced figure goes, this thing is breathtakingly beautiful. And I may use that phrase a lot, but that's because it truly is. This is just an incredibly awesome, super colossal Jurassic World figure. And although not everybody was really excited about this figure to be made, me personally, I love it, and I was excited from the start. So even more so excited now that it is here in my hands, in my collection. I am loving every second of this awesome Super Colossal Blue. So if you do want to pick one of these up for yourself, I will include a link for you to head on over to Amazon to pick this up there. I actually bought it on Entertainment Earth, but they were really slow when it came to shipping it. So you can check Entertainment Earth if you would like, but they kind of have it marked up to $60, whereas the actual retail is about $50, so you're better off probably ordering it from Amazon because you'll get it for that decent, very fair price, whereas Entertainment Earth, you'll be paying an upcharge and you'll also have to wait as far as shipping goes. Amazon's usually a good bit faster. So if you do want it, check the description. As I said, I'll link you to Amazon where you can pick this up for yourself. But before you go buy it, make sure that you please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.